There's been absolutely no shortage of really cool lip products that have come out in the past couple of months, so I thought we would go ahead and swatch and talk about them. Some of these I've had the chance to play around with for at least a couple of months, while others are relatively new to my collection. And I am going to show you what all of these lip products look like applied as well. At the time that I'm making this video, all of the lip products I'm going to talk about are currently available. Starting off with a launch from Milani that's absolutely stolen my heart. We have 4 brand new Fruit Fetish lip oils that are all in the fall theme. I really appreciate that the timing of this release is appropriate. We're not too early in the summer. We're about to head into fall, although I'm a little bit sad for the end of summer. These colors and flavors are so warm and cozy. First, we have the shade Pumpkin Spice, which I would describe as a sort of orangey caramel color. It has a light to medium opacity with subtle kind of orangey sparkles throughout. It has a subtle kind of sweet spiced scent to it, but I personally don't find it to be overpowering. You can see that on me it has a subtle warm tint on the lips. Next we have the shade Hot Cocoa, which is a mid-toned medium opacity brown gloss that has subtle sparkles throughout. And you can see in the swatch that those sparkles lean a warm golden color. You can see that when I apply this shade to the lips, it's kind of like a Your Lips But Better type of shade. I do prefer this one to Pumpkin Spice because I just feel like you can see it a little bit better on me. Next we have the shade Candy Apple, and I would describe this as a very sheer red, like just a tint with a subtle sparkle throughout. I like this shade, especially in the tube. I just wish that it was a little bit more pigmented. You can see it on my lips though, and I do feel like if you're going for a subtle wash of color, this might be a good option. The 4th new shade from Milani is called Mulled Wine. This may be my favorite. It's a little bit of a tie between this and Hot Cocoa. This is a really nice, deep, grungy purple toned gloss, and it also has subtle sparkles throughout. And you can see that when I apply it to the lips, you get probably a light to medium opacity. But this color just screams fall to me, definitely the type of shade I like to go for this time of year. And here's what all 4 of the new shades from Milani look like swatched to my arm. I know I'm still playing around with this collection, but I think this is such a beautiful capsule fall release. And as many of you may know, this line also has one of my favorite black glosses, the Black Cherry Vanilla one. Next, we're going to talk about the new lip plumpers from Rem Beauty. Actually, I don't know if all of these shades are new. I know Fembot is not, and I think that the main thing is that these were reformulated, so some of them may have been previously existing. But now we have 4 really beautiful, newly reformulated sparkly lip plumpers in this line. I was so impressed with the Fembot capsule collection that I definitely had high hopes for these shades. To be totally honest, I don't prefer lip plumpers, but the reason why I'm willing to overlook it in this case is because the plumping effect kind of wears off after 10 or 15 minutes or so, and you get some incredible sparkly payoff with these shades. I also sort of feel like Rem Beauty is making a little bit of a comeback, and I'm definitely here for that. First, we have the shade Jelly Sandals, and basically this is a sheer gloss that has multicolored sparkles throughout. I would describe the scent on these to be a spiced vanilla. And you can see when I apply this to the lips just how sparkly and reflective it is. I know the applicator on this can be a little bit polarizing. I do personally like the fact that you can see what the shades are right through the tube, and each shade is very aesthetically pleasing to look at. Next, we have the shade Chucky. I would describe this as a sheer kind of galactic purple with multicolored sparkles, especially blue and purple and silver sparkles. I love ethereal purples, so I really appreciate having a shade like this in the line. I also wanted to mention that I didn't find this formula to be gritty whatsoever, and it does have some thickness to it, so it feels like it has a decent staying power on the lips. Next, we have the shade Fembot, and this was actually part of the Fembot capsule collection, so I've tried this shade for, I want to say, at least a month at this point. It has a reddish taupe base and it's loaded with these blue sparkles throughout. In comparison to the Fembot gloss, it definitely has a higher density of sparkles and you can just see those sparkles a lot more on the lips. So if you like an intense sparkly lip, I do think this formula has a lot of options for you. but I would definitely advocate only picking up one shade just to make sure that the plumping effect isn't too much for you. Last but not least, we have the shade 7 Rings, and I think of this as sort of like a warm tone version of Fembot. It has a reddish pink base and really intense kind of bright pink sparkles throughout. I honestly really like the shade too. This line in general I feel like doesn't have any misses, but a lot of people don't enjoy lip plumpers, so I really hope they decide to pad out their lip gloss line in a similar way that they're doing the plumpers. Here is what all 4 shades look like swatched to my arm. I think my own personal favorite shades ended up being Fembot and 7 Rings. Personally, I also think those are the 2 most unique shades in the line. And of course, this video just wouldn't be complete without having a couple of newer gloss bombs. First, we have this vibrant orange gloss bomb called Mango Margs, and I believe that this is an Ulta exclusive. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. My understanding is that this is a limited edition gloss bomb, so if you're able to get it and you're into this color, it might be a good time because, as many of you are well aware, Fenty likes to do the limited edition gloss bombs, and some of my favorite shades are those limited edition colors. The next shade we have is called Unicorn Blizzard. I believe this is the first time that Fenty has done one of these kind of stacks glosses where you have 3 different shades that are just literally stacked on top of each other. Now, the aesthetics of this gloss are just next level. To me, the end result looks like a slightly more ethereal kind of sparkly lavender, and we have several other shades like that in the lineup already. So if you do have one of those other lavender shades, I feel like you could probably pass on this unless you're a collector of gloss bombs. The next lip product I'm going to talk about is the red lipstick that was done in collaboration with Monica and Milani Beauty. I actually just received this lipstick and I really wanted to show it in this video because I know that it's still available at this time, but I know that it's going to be limited edition. Just a few fun facts. This lipstick was made specifically for Monica for her wedding, and there was a lot of interest in this shade from a lot of her followers, and so it was made into an actual launch. I personally was really excited for that because she has a great grasp on color theory, and I learned that she and I are actually almost the same skin tone when we met in person at one of the Milani Beauty pop-ups. Red lipstick is honestly not something I wear on a regular basis, and I think part of the reason is that I have such a difficult time finding shades that work for my skin tone. A lot of the shades out there do look a little bit too stark on me. I think the end result of this lipstick really is perfect. I did pair this lipstick with the lip liner that she made in collaboration with Mob as well. It's called Wine Not, and I would describe it as a red-toned brown shade. This is in Mob's matte formula, which has a very kind of creamy feel on the lips. Okay, the next formula I have to talk about is from a Chinese beauty brand that has become quite popular, especially recently, and they came out with these glaze rouge lip balms. The packaging and execution of these lip balms does feel similar to the Fenty Gloss Bomb Shimmer Sticks that came out earlier this spring. In general, I find the shades to be different. I don't find this to be a gritty formula, but again, I feel like if you're new to it, I would recommend trying one shade just to make absolutely sure. First, we have the shade Aqua Blush, and it looks like it's going to be a blue bomb, but it has a very kind of sheer base and really prominent pink sparkles. Super pretty shade, but of course, I always feel a little bit of letdown when I feel like something is going to be blue and it ends up being completely sheer. That aside, I think it's a really fun, light and ethereal shade, and you can build it up to get kind of a more sparkly look on the lips. And I love that Joocyee in general is doing some more fun shades. Next, we have the shade Hollow Haze, and I actually did a little comparison of this and Icy Amethyst in shorts not too long ago. The 2 shades are actually pretty similar to the point where I don't feel like having both would be necessary. Next, we have the shade Midnight Glint. This is a really kind of deep berry toned shade. There isn't a Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick that's similar to this shade, but there is a Gloss Bomb Luminizer, and that is the shade Fuchsia Flex. But Fuchsia Flex is just a touch warmer than this one. And here's what all 4 shades of the Glaze Rouge lip balms look like swatched on my arm. I did also include a swatch of Gilded Taupe. That's the 4th shade down from my wrist, right under Midnight Glint. Okay, and the last kind of newer formula that I've tried recently are these Magna Glow glosses, also from Joocyee. I find the texture on these to be smooth. They have a medium opacity and they're loaded with kind of fine sparkles. A lot of people I know that have tried these glosses have reported back to me that they enjoy them. I have heard a few people say that they don't get on well with the smell. So I did just want to mention that. I personally did not have these same issues with the scent, but if I do get a few comments about stuff like that, I do like to let you all know. And this little pattern that you're seeing on the outer kind of portion is created by a magnet, so you can actually kind of wipe that away with the inner doe foot. I've just chosen not to myself. This is the shade Ruby Glow. It has kind of a pinky red base and it's loaded with kind of fine pink sparkles throughout. Next, we have the shade Obsidian Glow, and I think I've mentioned this shade several times before because it's become one of my favorites. I would describe it as having a blackened purple base with deep purple sparkles throughout. If you're into more kind of deeper, moodier shades, I think that you might really like this one. And with all of the glosses in this formula, I find them to have about a medium opacity. And then last we have the shade Amethyst Glow. I would describe this as having a mid-toned purple base that's a little bit brighter and it has purple sparkles throughout. Both this lip balm release and this gloss release were part of a series of releases from Joocyee that included some more kind of fun, unique, sparkly shades in their line. Here is what all 3 shades look like swatched on my arm. I've had such a great time trying new Joocyee products this summer, and I truly hope to see more fun releases from the brand down the line. They've been a brand that's been really known for their sparkly neutrals, but they could become known for their more fun sparkly shades as well. Okay, and then the last couple of products I have are from a recent MAC release. These are from the Nocturna collection. I was super excited about this release because I love deep berry burgundy lips, and I just think that these type of shades going into fall are so perfect. This is one of the Squirt lip balms, and it's in the shade Nocturnal Pearl. It has kind of a deep burgundy base that's sheer to a light medium opacity, and it has blue sparkles. In the lip combo that I did, I paired this shade with the lip liner Night Moth in the new glossy lip liner formula. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like MAC's been giving us quite a few interesting releases in 2025. The second lip product I'm going to show is one of the new MAC Air lip glosses, and this is also a new shade. This is the shade Light Moth. I would describe this as a deep reddish tone purple. I love how comfortable and non-sticky this formula is on the lips. You get about a medium opacity with this one. All right, I know we squeezed a whole lot of lip products and try-ons into a short period of time, but I would love to hear what your favorites were in the comments and if you've tried any of these or have any on your wish list. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.